Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the farm. We have some moving going on. We've got some neighbors coming in. I was going to say roommates. Actually, they are going to be roommates because neighbors would be next to each other. We're going to open up this fence and we're going to open up two houses in here just in case someone gets bullied out. But they're going to have this whole area right here to be in. And I'm going to explain why we're doing that in just a minute. But we've got a battery to go change, just so we can keep the pigs in and other animals out. Good morning, Josie. Well, it's blinking red now, but it's on. This is the girls' pen back here. We are getting ready to move some of them. If we're wanting some spring litters, it is about that time. We're actually probably a little bit late getting some of these sows in with the boars, but we're in no rush right now. We've been busy, got a lot of things going on, trying to get animals to dry places. It's been in the 50s still. We've been getting a ton of rain, but we've got cold weather coming, so that's why we're trying to get our last couple pens moved around. And then we'll start worrying about getting some girls moved in with some boars. All right, we are back at the back of the farm, and this is who is going to be roommates up there. You can see this is our wettest spot on the farm, so we want to get these guys out of here. And Jamie and I got to talking. We haven't had luck getting anybody bred in Tuck's pen and Phil's pen back here, so we're going to move them together. Maybe that competition will help. We're not 100% sure, but that is our plan. That's the nice thing about having your own farm. You can try some things out, see what works and see what doesn't work. I'm going to have to wrap Phil up in the hog panel to get him moved. And that way, because we are going by Ryder's pen up there, and obviously he'd stop and mess with Ryder and do the boar thing. So I'm going to wrap him in the hog panel, get them moved up here. Brooklyn's got a bucket, and she is going to be coaxing the other ones. We haven't fed these two pens this morning, so we think it will be a lot easier to get them moved. So let's get them wrapped up and get moved up together. All right, I left the hog panel back there and we've got them on a roll. I think not feeding them yet this morning has helped. Come on, pigs. A lot easier than I had thought. So we've got Joyce, Phil, and Thistle. And we're gonna be moving them in here and then opening the other fence, and everyone's gonna come together. Come here, Joyce. There's always one. There is always one in the group. Here's Phil. He can already smell the other boar. Come on. Come on. It's never fun when they do their little battle to see who's the toughest. But like we've said in the past, there you go. We'll wrap it around. Oh, go this way. There you go. It does not last very long. And that's why we've opened up, let's get that put in. That's why we've opened up two houses, so that if one gets kicked out, we can go on this side or that side. So the feed is in here. I'm gonna set this down, and we need to open up this fence and connect it to that fence. But I don't think anybody's gonna go anywhere. I'll get Brooklyn out of here. Obviously, you don't really wanna be around when the boars are going at it. But let's get this fence opened up and get them together. Come on, Phil. Come on. All right, we've got Phil in. Now they'll end up doing their dance. They're gonna find their food bowls here. Hopefully Molly will find her food bowl. We'll get them water and then we'll just see how everyone's doing here in a second. All right, pens are hooked together. These are two obviously different fences, but if you just hook them together, they work just fine. Molly was venturing over to get grass, didn't really care what was going on here, but I've added more food bowls just in case something happens. And guys, whenever this is going on, boars are going at it, you definitely want to be very careful. I wouldn't let the kids in here. Looks like they're more hungry than caring about battling, but I'm sure that's going to happen at some point today. But we're gonna try this out, see what happens. Like we said, we've seen Molly get bred, so we don't know if it's the sow, don't know if it's the boar. Tuck has had a litter here on the farm, so we know he's not sterile. Phil is yet to have a litter, but we don't know if it's the sows he's been with. We don't know if it's because we put him in there and he was young yet. So it could be a few things. We're not sure what it is, but this is gonna cut down one stop for us in the wintertime. It gets them on some better ground. Like we showed you back there at the pond, it is soaking wet back there. And sometimes that cart is getting stuck back there when we try to feed. So never a fun time when your animals are going at it, but that's just part of it. In the wild, boars are gonna battle to see who's the boss, establish that pecking order. And the same thing happens here on the farm. We used to put all of our boars together when we weren't breeding, and all the sows together, and the boars would battle it out for a day or two, and then everybody would be all snuggled up together, and it's not an issue. And it's going to be the same here. The sows will probably go at it too. Molly's over there. I took a bowl over there for her so she could just eat in peace. She was just eating on the grass. She didn't even see that food was out. So there will be a little bit of a scuffle. I'm surprised it stopped already, but I guess us not feeding them yet this morning helped that out just a little bit. So a lot of people will ask, well, how do you know who the boar is going to be? Well, there's two ways we can figure that out. If one of these pigs comes and we notice that it's pregnant, we'll know that it was the first boar that was in the pen, because it takes 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, around 116 days for pig gestation. So we need to just keep an eye on that. If none of them are pregnant when we move them in, then we'll know it's about 4 months until we'll see piglets. And for us to figure out who the boar is going to be, or who the dad of the piglets would be, we'd have to send in, when we do our DNA testing on the piglets, we're going to have to send in both boars as possible options. When we get the results back, we will know who the dad is. So it's a little easier up here as well, because we can actually see them. Obviously, we couldn't see those pens back at the pond, but when we're eating dinner, we can look out the back porch here, and sometimes we'll notice pigs breeding. It's not really a great dinner time conversation, but at least we notice that. So right now it seems like they're okay. Phil is definitely the younger boar, but he's getting pretty big, so he can definitely hold his own. But we'll see what happens, see who the boss is going to be. I see some piglets out over here, so we got to check out piglets. Like I was saying earlier, it's going to get cold later this week, so we definitely wanted to keep 2 houses open on that barn over there, so if someone does get bullied out of a house, that they will be fine and they have somewhere to go to get out of the weather. So far so good. Easy move. Didn't have to deal with Ryder checking out the boars, but I think their stomach led them to the next spot more than we did. So here's 2 Luis. We just did have a piglet out in Barb's pen, but I guess everyone decided to go in, so I guess we got to go in and check them out. So you can see it is time. We're going to get out here and we're going to rake up the manure when we have them in a smaller spot like this and we're not moving them as often. We'll get that raked up. That way the mamas are not in their manure. But let's go check out the babies here real quick. We did show you on the last video too that the chickens are laying a lot more eggs, but we have got a spot for the chickens to go to as well. We get down into single digits, into the teens. I'm working on a spot to get them moved up. There is a picture of Comfort. We used to have a bulldog that used to lay with its back legs out like that. But here are two Louise's piglets, and they are almost 3 weeks. They're getting to the point where they're going to be eating some solid food when Mama spills. We did have some piglets outside for the first time the other day. That is always a fun experience. And the reason we have not taken these boards down, these boards help keep the piglets in when they're real young. But the other reason we keep them up is when that wind is blowing, it kind of helps keep those curtains where they need to be. Unless it's a really big wind, and then it doesn't really help much, but that's the thought behind it. So here's the older ones, about a week older. Come here, pigs. Come here, pigs. A lot of those brown spots are still staying, and sometimes they'll stay until they're about, well, a couple months old, and then they'll start to fade. Or in the summertime when the sun's shining, you'll be able to see the tips of their fur will have some tinge of that brown on them still. So anyway, hey, good morning. Good morning. Here's Barb's piglets. And like I said, it's been rainy and windy, so they have not been going out too much. There was a few of them out the other day, and they were looking quite muddy. You guys want to come out of the creep and say hi? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. So they will be in here with Mom until they're 8 weeks old. Then we'll move Mom's out, and we'll put these piglets together. Both of these groups, Barb's and two Louise's piglets together, until we decide, oh, we've got a Royal Rumble going on in there. What are you guys doing? Oh, someone just jumped into the camera. So, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, guys. Well, that was our first job this morning. We got a couple more tasks to take care of, but we're going to end today's video right here. We appreciate you following along. Don't forget to make the change, and we will see you on the next video.